Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duck Bricks. I'm Chris, and I just got back from a trip to Billund, Denmark, where we went to the Lego headquarters and got a chance to see some brand new Lego sets for the first time, coming out very soon. One of those sets was the incredibly exciting brand new Lego Ideas Botanical Garden. Now this is an absolutely stunning and beautiful set, but I will let the designers introduce it for you, and we can take a hands-on look at it at the end of the video. So, let's go.
Chris. I am a senior model designer with Lego Ideas. And before I get into this reveal, I'd like to give you, I guess, a few numbers about the product itself. So this model has 3,792 parts. It has 12 minifigures, 12 unique minifigures. It has 4 birds, a dog, a frog, a bunny, and a squirrel. It is 2 base plates wide, 64 bricks wide. And it contains over 35 brick-built species of plants. This is 21353 Lego Ideas, the Botanical Garden, based on the fan submission by Valentina Bima. Let's see if I can get this off without issue. Oh, almost. Whoa. That's fine. So, to continue talking numbers, this model has 3 atriums. So we have our middle atrium, where you have a lot of the various different plant species. Over here we have a arid area where you find cacti, and over here we have a little cafe. It has 3 removable roofs, so you can take off this roof, you can take off this roof, and you can take off this roof. But not only that, in order to make sure that people could get in to the model and see what the minifigs are doing, position minifigures, it also has 2 removable walls. So this wall comes off and you can see the barista area, and this wall comes off at the back to allow you to access the area where the cactuses are. It also has removable plants so that you can actually further get into the model. So here we have a date palm, and here we have a eucalyptus.
I should do a question, see if they can guess.
Yes.
Guess all 35 plants.
Guess all 35 plants.
In Latin.
One of the things that I wanted to talk about right now is the new elements that we put into this model. We were very fortunate that we could do 4 new elements for the model. So one of the first ones I will show you is something that you see in the corners here. This is a 5x5 wall element with a spine. This particular element defined the aesthetic of the model. It made it a beautiful Victorian botanical garden. And you'll get, what, 12?
You're the model designer.
Yeah.
Yeah, 12.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, 12. We'll get 12 of them. In order to make the roof structure work, like this, we also needed another element for the roof. So this is a 1x5 instead of a 1x6. This element allows us to resolve the corners so that we could actually do this without having any collision or having any need for overlap. So that was extremely important for the model. Now the next element I'm going to talk about, you probably already seen. It leapfrogged us to announcement with Wicked and with our own The Magic of Disney.
And Animal Crossing.
And Animal Crossing. But for this model, we developed a flower element that we are internally calling the peony. It is available in this model in 5 different colors, and You're going to get a lot of them. They're all over the front gardens. You can see that we have them here for hydrangeas. We have them here in red for peonies. There's a lot of them. I haven't counted it up, but you'll get a lot of them. And finally, we created a tulip or bud type flower element, which you can see over here and over here in this plant, which I guess is a little bit hidden for you. So, oops, I guess I'll just put that there.
Yes.
So as I said, yes, there are 35 brick-built plant species here. There are 12 minifigures. There are a lot of animals, and one thing that we really wanted to do with the minifigures itself is kind of pair them up so that they all had kind of individual stories. So one of the funniest stories that we have, I guess, is we have a child that's gone to the botanical gardens with his mother, and he has picked a flower, and she's a little bit aghast because you probably shouldn't be picking the flowers at botanical gardens. We also have an older couple who are there with a dog. We have a grandfather there with his granddaughter, and she has taken an audio tour inside the botanical gardens, and you will find that behind the entrance counter there are additional headphones that are hanging on the wall. We actually have a visually impaired character here who is accompanied by this fellow with the camera, and they are also touring the garden, and we wanted to do something special for this character, so we made a head that is specifically to represent a visually impaired character. And this is a little bit different than what we've done before. We've had visually impaired characters before, but we wanted to create an element specific for that character. So this is a double-sided face that I think actually really, I think it really brings something novel to the set, and it's very good, you know, I guess, for representation as well, to make sure that we are inviting all people into the botanical gardens. We also have two caretakers right here. Oops. And we have the barista. And finally, the manager of the botanical gardens is the fan designer, Valentina Bima. So we have made her a minifigure, and you will find lots of other little fun details in the set itself. Little Easter eggs here and there. Some of these things I will leave for the interviews later on this afternoon. And I think that's probably it.
We can take a couple of questions up front. Yep.
The original submission was part of the modular system, and at least I can't see that. Right.
That is correct. One of the first things that we aligned on is that we wanted the gardens to feel like a classic botanical gardens, that there were actually a lot of exterior gardens to it. So the sidewalk, for example, takes 5 to 6 bricks. It's quite deep, and we just wanted to really populate that with plants. So that was one of the first things we decided that we needed to give the gardens some room to grow, essentially.
Thanks. Compared to the fan design, you've added a lot of colour and everything to the front of the model. Could you talk about how you thought about balancing the colours out and introducing all of that?
I'm not sure I understand the question. Could you say that again?
So on the original model, you've not got all the colourful flowers
Right.
out front and things. It's quite a white model.
Yes.
You obviously added all of that, and you must have been thinking about, how you would make the model vibrant and that.
Yeah, definitely. As Botanical Gardens, we wanted to bring in as much color as possible. We wanted it to really feel vibrant, both inside and out. And again, that was part of the motivation to get a lot of color out front and to have these beautiful rows of flowers right at the front of the wall.
In terms of the green that you've added as a colour alongside the white, was that something you got for reference, or was that just a personal taste?
The sand green? The sand green was a long discussion. We tried many other colors. In the end, what we decided was that the sand green really helped color code this as a botanical gardens, and the other ones didn't feel as they were, you know, as it's almost a pun, as organic.
Yeah. I mean, we did try a lot of colors, and in the end, the Friends Botanical Garden nailed it with the color of the actual building. So this is kind of in keeping with that, but we wanted to make it even like more detailed, more authentic to that Victorian architecture, which speaks to those elements being designed. And we brought Valentina along that journey to like explain that to her and stuff, and tried to get as many of her like architectural details as possible into the model, and all of her plants as much as we could.
Thank you.
Thiago?
Could you put it back together and show the back of the model, please?
Sure. We'll take another question.
How did you decide on plant species? So that's a very
We
large
had,
number.
how many boosts did we have? I think
We had a couple of boosts.
where we
Some
got
of
the whole
those.
team together, and we're just like, here's a bunch of inspiration images, build plants, see what you can make, and then Chris, you take it from there.
Yeah, so I took a lot of inspiration from the boost. One of the key things that came out of the boost was the eucalyptus plant. So this was modified slightly and put in. A lot of the other plant builds served as inspiration for other things in the model. But as things go, one of the most interesting things for us was, what does this element look like, and can this represent that plant? So sometimes we'd say, oh, you know, we have to make a date palm. So then you figure out how to make a date palm. But in other cases, particularly over here, where we have combined the ice cream swirl with the peony, this is an ice cream tulip. It's an actual type of tulip, and so it was just a matter of putting the elements together and like sort of like, oh, this looks like that, so we're going to definitely put that in the model. So it was a lot of back and forth like that. We certainly didn't like sit down and make a list of plants that we wanted to have in. It was.
We wanted to keep some of the Valentina's original ones and then add some more because we had more space. And then with the new peony element, you can actually use it in a lot of different ways to make different flowers. Like the cactus is using it as well. We've got it for peonies, for hydrangeas, the tulips, like so many different uses. So that was a lot of fun to design. And then, as Chris said, there are some that tie to the actual story. So there is a coffee plant in there. So the story was that they're actually growing their own beans. So it's a very, it's just a cool story that maybe not everyone realizes, but it's there and people can piece it together. We will take one more question.
Hi. In the instructions, are all plants identifiable? So have you called them all out so people can?
They are not called out specifically in the instructions.
We have some called.
Yeah, there are some, but there is a full list. There is a full list, yes.
Maybe we can provide that.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be useful for people to
Yeah.
try and identify, especially with younger children and stuff.
Yeah. I think that's good. Cool. But
You want to see inside the cactus area.
I think just in the interest of time as well, because we'll have interviews with this one, so we can go into more details about all the cool stuff that's in it. I would like to ask Laura to come in next and present a very much anticipated model, I think. But thank you, Chris.
So when this model was initially announced around this time last year for us at Fan Media Days, to be honest, I was a little bit skeptical. I felt that LEGO had already put out pretty much the perfect botanical garden with the LEGO Friends set, and while that one wasn't fully enclosed, you could mod it to be fully enclosed by just buying a couple of different copies of the set, and I felt like that really served all the purposes for a botanical garden we would need out of LEGO. I will say though, this has honestly really blown me away by the sheer variety, size, scale, and just the amount of space inside the building, as well as the new elements they created for it, which you just saw on that black plate there. It's honestly really impressive just how much detail and love went into creating this. If I could only say one thing, and yes, this was asked about, I do kind of wish this was a modular building, and again, they did give a good reason that they didn't really want it to be on the street and they wanted to emphasize the greenery around it, and I do understand that. but I feel like it is so close. Like, it could totally have been a modular building if they really wanted it to be. That being said, it's going to be a very easy modification for anyone wanting to put it in their city, but I do always love it when you actually are able to have modularity between LEGO sets, and I do feel like it was a bit of a missed opportunity to remove that from the original fan submission, which I believe did have it. Still, that being said, it is really cool to be able to see all the minifigures and of course all the plants inside the garden. I love and am so impressed by just how many plants they were able to fit in. Again, if you look at the list we were provided to by the Ambassador Network, it is a pretty crazy amount of different plants, and I'm excited to see what people think about which plants correspond to what just from these early videos and clips alone. While we weren't able to get a ton of individual in-depth footage inside, this is pretty much the best that I could get. I really did want to emphasize that I'm very impressed by the interior. It is really detailed. I really do like the way they were able to have a lot of the design and details come across in the set. The flowers look amazing. The recolors are really cool, like the green banana piece recolored. And overall, while it's admittedly a little bit too early to comment on price and value at the time of recording this, I'm not really sure exactly what price it's going to be, although of course by the time this video comes out, the whole press release will be out as well, so you can go ahead and look up how much the set is going to cost. It does look really solid to me. I like the new pieces. I like how they really fit well within the LEGO system and the system of curved elements they've introduced over the past couple of years, and this is absolutely a day one buy for me. Of course, let me know in the comments, what do you think of this set? What angles are you looking forward to getting your hands on? And what other LEGO sets are you excited to see revealed from Fan Media Days, where we were shown a ton of exciting stuff, so much more is on the way. That's all for this video, and big thank you to Chris, the designer of the model, for giving us a great presentation. It was super cool to hear it directly from the horse's mouth in terms of how this was designed, and I can't wait to show you more from Fan Media Days in Bill and Denmark, home of the LEGO Group. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of this set? And one last thing, I do want to give a big shout out to my friend Maticus Bricks for sending over some hands-on footage that you're looking at right now of the model. He got a one-on-one interview with the designers, and we decided to trade off on some footage. I got some interviews, he got other ones, and it totally made sense for us to team up. So thank you to Maticus for supplying this in-depth footage, and I hope you enjoyed getting a much closer look at the new LEGO Ideas Botanical Garden. That's all for this video. Be sure to like and subscribe for even more LEGO news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming your way very soon, and bye for now.